fabulous to be here. I am fresh back from break, and I cannot think of a better way to, frankly, re-enter school than to celebrate. Yet again, somebody asked me once, a reporter asked me once, does this ever get tired? Dedicating new buildings, and I would say to you, no. I would do it every day of the week if possible. But it is fabulous to be here. I want to thank, as we get started, I want to thank our partners, Tom Kelso, Bob Gorell, and all of our partners at Baltimore City, Maryland Stadium Authority, and the Interagency Commission on School Construction, otherwise known as the IAC. This is really a joint celebration given our partnership, so I want to thank them. I also want to give special thanks to incoming Senate President Bill Ferguson, Senator Jill Carter, clearly Mayor Jack Young, and Council President Brandon Scott for their participation today. Again, this is a Saturday, and I think the significance of the opening of yet another new school, set of 3 actually, that we are celebrating today, is really occasion for our whole city to celebrate on behalf of our young people. I also want to recognize my bosses who are here today. Linda Chinia, who is our board chair, Johnette Richardson, I don't know if she's here yet, but our vice chair, former board chair, Cheryl Kashani. We also have with us Commissioner Bondima, Commissioner Reed, and let's see who else is here that I've seen. Oh, there's Commissioner Roberts. How are you? Good morning. So I want to thank all of them and others who will be coming. We have a morning of thank yous that I'm going to turn over to other people. So we will get started. But because this is the first time since all of our new schools have been open, that a very special staff member who played a pivotal role in this work has actually been able to come and see some of the fruits of her labors. I want to just do one special call out to Ms. Laura Kiesler, who's a former staff member who really led the development of our 10-year plan, the early framework of this program before we even opened our 21st century office. Laura has been living out of state before any of these schools opened, but she is with us today, and I wanted to take this opportunity really to thank you, Laura, and also to say welcome back to Maryland, which we all know really is still the best state to live in. So thank you to Laura. And then finally, and most importantly, I want to welcome students, staff, members of local communities, as well as families from all 3 schools that we are here to celebrate today: Bay-Brook Elementary Middle, Calvin M. Rodwell Elementary Middle, and John Rohrer Elementary Middle. I want to welcome you all here today as well. And I want to remind everyone that Calvin Rodwell and John Rohrer will also be open to the public today between 1 and 3 p.m. For guided tours of these equally beautiful buildings. I just want to, before I quickly turn this over and we move to our ribbon cutting, I want to just remind us all briefly that when I walked in the building and I was driving in with Detective Owens, he actually, his mouth dropped open and he said, "Ma'am, I remember what this school looked like. I remember, right, what young people and staff had to come to beforehand, and to walk in and see where we are now. This is just a reminder that this actually should only be special because it should signify the kind of spaces and expectations we have for all young people in the city of Baltimore." So these are the spaces our young people deserve. I want to thank you, the entire community, for mobilizing and doing what we as adults are charged to do. And that is our very best to make sure that every generation of young people is set up to take over when we are all tired. And let me tell you something, coming back from break, I thought, you know what? we really need to get young people ready, because this kind of being able to relax is a lovely state of being. So I want to be able, young people, to pass this off to you when I am ready and ready to retire and sit on a porch somewhere. So without further ado, I want to welcome all of the folks forward who are going to be part of the ribbon cutting ceremony, and let's get this official celebration underway. Thank you. 3, 2, 1.
Alrighty, good morning, everyone. My name is Bryce Taylor, and I am a member of the City School Student Media Team. I've been a member for about, I think, 6 years now, and I'm a senior in high school. Thank you. For the past, I think, 2.5 years, I've covered many 21st century grand openings, and these have been my favorite stories I've covered over my time on the media team. Number one, because when I look out into the audience, I see lit up faces of not only students, but parents. They feel great because their students are going to brand new schools. I love this initiative because it promotes equity. I've been to North Baltimore, South Baltimore, East and West, and all of the schools, they afford our students with the same opportunities. Therefore, they are prepared for that next level. Each single room I've seen, they have these, you'll see them on the tour, but they have these nice open spaces that promote learning. Each room, they have windows, big windows that they promote happiness, because what people don't realize is the rooms that you're in, they have a huge effect on the way that you think and the way that you feel every single day. And our students are coming into nice technological buildings. They are coming into open spaces, clean spaces, spaces that are aesthetically pleasing. And when you go home, you can tell your parents about that. You can walk in and see that your kids are in nice, beautiful rooms that you can feel good about sending them to school every single day. And that's why I love the 21st Century Initiative. So I'd like to invite up to here the chairman of the Maryland Stadium Authority, Mr. Thomas Kelso. Can you please give him a round of applause?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. The Maryland Stadium Authority is very excited to be here today at Bay-Brook Elementary Middle School to mark this significant milestone in the 21st Century School Buildings Program, as today we celebrate ribbon cuttings at 3 more schools. We hope many of you will also be able to join us later this afternoon for the open houses at Calvin M. Rodwell Elementary Middle School and John Rura Elementary Middle School. Governor Hogan was unable to be here today, but he asked me to express his sincere congratulations on the occasion of these 3 ribbon cuttings and his gratitude for the program's commitment to build future-focused, adaptable, sustainable, and high-quality schools and communities throughout Baltimore. With these 3 school openings, we have now completed 14 schools, and I am happy to report that they have been completed on time and approximately 5% under budget. Originally, when the 21st Century Schools program was created, we projected replacing and or renovating somewhere between 23 and 28 school buildings throughout Baltimore. Today, I am pleased to announce that the MSA's efficient project and fiscal management and the great working relationship we enjoy with Dr. Santelises and her entire team, we will deliver 28 new or newly renovated school buildings, which will be home to 32 schools. Of the 14 remaining buildings to be completed, 5 are under construction, 7 are in design, and 2 more are completing the feasibility study phase. This program is scheduled to be substantially complete in 2021. In addition, I want to note that this program doesn't just contribute to the City of Baltimore and the state of Maryland through furthering the education of Baltimore's children. It also promotes local employment with 369 position commitments for city residents, introduces a school internship initiative, and has so far realized an MBE goal of more than 34%, with $218.9 million in contracts awarded to minority and women-owned businesses. I want to thank our partners in this program, City Schools, and Dr. Santelises, I have to say that I really do not want you to retire soon. We have a ways to go yet. The IAC and Baltimore City, all of whom have demonstrated a real commitment to the success of this program. Together, we are good stewards of Maryland taxpayer dollars and champions for education, economic development, and neighborhood revitalization in the city of Baltimore. I want to recognize MSA's Executive Director, Michael Friends, and our Board of Directors, Gary Mangum, who is here today with me, also Lenny Atman, Minerva Riddick, Joe Bryce, Jody Stanalonis, and Carolyn Moselle for their leadership. And I especially want to recognize Gary McGuigan, who is here also today, and Eric Johnson, who oversee this program for MSA, and the highly professional staff they oversee, such as the staff that oversees this project, such as project managers Dawn Sanders of John Rura, Tim Kober at Calvin Rodwell, and Michael Berry of City School Partners for Bay-Brook. They've all done a great job. Additionally, we want to thank Crabtree Rohrbaugh, CAM Construction, Design Collective, Samaha, and Skanska for their stunning replacements of Bay-Brook and Calvin Rodwell. Special thanks also to Grimm and Parker and MCN South and Southway for the renovation and addition of John Rura that respects the existing charm of the historic building while seamlessly adding a modern addition. Your participation in today's events affords you the opportunity to preview the 21st century school buildings that will serve these communities for many years with light-filled, collaborative learning areas and gathering spaces equipped with enhanced technologies and environmental efficiencies throughout. For those of us that have worked so hard to make these new schools a reality, at each ribbon cutting, we are buoyed by the incredible response as students, teachers, administrators, parents, and members of the community see these new schools for the first time. The quality of our educational facilities is important as they send a clear message to current and future students that they do matter. In closing, whenever the MSA is asked by the governor, state legislature, or local municipalities to take on additional projects such as this 21st Century Schools program, MSA's response is, we're here to serve. In this case, it's particularly gratifying to serve the school children of Baltimore and the future of Baltimore and Maryland. And now I hope you will join me in welcoming Bob Gorell, the Executive Director of the IAC, to present the Governor's citations.
Good morning. What a wonderful new school, and what a big change. I'm the Executive Director of the Interagency Commission. We're a very small agency within the state. We're charged with ensuring that every child in every seat is in an educationally and environmentally sufficient spot so that you can learn. If you're not in a spot that is educationally sufficient or temperatures are correct, there's sufficient sound control, that it's comfortable to be in, it's awfully hard to learn, and for teachers it's awfully hard to concentrate on teaching. So that's our job. It sounds simple, but it's a big job. We have 1,400 schools in the state, and there are needs everywhere. And we're targeted, and we promise that we will work to find a sufficient solution for all of them. For this school, I'd like to recognize Gary, Eric, and Larry at MSA. They're the people we work closest to. There is a lot that goes on in the background as you put together building projects. As you can imagine, there's hundreds of thousands of pieces and decisions that have to come together and align for them to work properly. I also want to acknowledge Jamie Bridges. He is our IAC program manager for city schools. He's our only program manager in the state, and he does a wonderful job. I'm here on behalf of the legislature and for the governor, and I would like to read that on behalf of the citizens of the state, in recognition of the outstanding commitment of students, faculty, and staff of the Calvin Rodwell Elementary Middle School, of the John Rura Elementary Middle School, and of this school, the Bay-Brook Elementary Middle School, towards quality education and academic excellence, and with sincere congratulations on the occasion of this ribbon cutting of your new and replacement schools. And as an expression of our admiration and great respect and warmest best wishes for success in the days and years to come, we are pleased to confer upon each of the schools and their principals this citation of Governor's citation. So, if I could, please, Sam? Sam?
Excuse me, everyone, can you take that step?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Mary Donnelly. Come over here and do the same thing.
There we go.
Thank you.
Right this way, right at me, please. Here we go. Thank you.
Congratulations. Monique Reese. You must know her. Good to see you.
Oh, my baby's right here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you again for everybody for being here. And I'd like to introduce Sam.
Sam.
Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So first, I would like to introduce my students. Shania Wiggins. You can come on up.
Good morning. My name is Shania Wiggins, and I am a 7th grade student at Calvin M. Rodwell Elementary Middle School. I am so proud that we made it this far and thankful for the opportunity to receive a new school building as we enter 2020. I am glad that we have a healthy, fresh start in a good environment and a humble place. I look forward to learning new skills and improving the skills that we have already been learning so far, especially in a positive way, and using Google Classroom, which has had a major impact on our learning. It helps us to better our grades. Finally, I look forward to continuing to show and swag at Calvin Rodwell using safety first, working together respectfully, and respecting responsibilities and goal-oriented / growth.
Great job, Shania. Now we'll have Cameron Banks.
Good morning, everyone. I hope that everyone is having a pleasant morning. My name is Cameron Banks, and I am in the 7th grade. On the behalf of my school, I would like to welcome everyone back to the 2020 year of another great year at Calvin M. Rodwell Elementary Middle School. As we start the new year at the new school, I would like to go over major changes and responsibilities that we ourselves and our peers will be experiencing within this new transition. One major change for many of the middle school students will be accepting the new responsibilities of setting a perfect example for the new school and its capabilities, careful treatment of the new technologies, and to always be respectful of new opportunities. Another change is that the school itself has its teaching equipment. Classrooms have much more compact space, and each room has enough space for each student to work hard and learn. Lastly, I almost forgot to mention that our ambitions and efforts toward our futures will not change. We each work hard and always trust our best whenever possible. I continue to hope that everyone is having an extraordinary time, and we hope that you enjoy the new Calvin M. Rodwell.
Let's give my students another hand, please. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the members of the Calvin Rodwell family who are with us today. In fact, several of them traveled out of state to attend this important event. Could you all please stand? Let's give them a hand. Calvin Rodwell's son, Dino Rodwell, his daughter, Kimberly Stinnett, and her husband, Gerald and son, and Ethan. Calvin Rodwell's brothers, Clarence and Dwight Rodwell. Calvin Rodwell's sisters, Mary and Doris. His nieces and nephews, Gary Rodwell, Renee Hicks, and Gail Heaton, and also Wesley Griffin. Thank you so much. Give them another hand. This is an amazing building, right? You know, some people say Baltimore is a rat and rodent infested mess. But I know better. I know better. It makes me think of a verse, Matthew chapter 20, verse 16. So the last will be first, and the first will be last. And Baltimore is our time. It takes a village to do the work that we need to do, and I need you. I'm calling on you to support us long after this ribbon cutting. So Baltimore, it's our time. Let's work together and support the next generation. Thank you so much to my family and my Calvin Rodwell family. I love you all. I was hyped about the speech. I forgot my second part. Now I would like to call up Principal Mary Donovan.
Good morning. I am the proud principal of John Rohr Elementary Middle School, and I'd like to introduce my student to you, Ahmed Najiri.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ahmed, and I'm in 6th grade, and I'm from John Rohr Elementary Middle School. Thank you all for coming to celebrate the opening of the new John Rohr Elementary Middle School. We are really very happy to move into this beautiful building. This school consists of many features. First of all, the new school is equipped with security cameras all around, which will improve the safety of the students, teachers, and staff. Second, the school has 2 new playgrounds and 1 soccer field. This will make school fun for students and more enjoyable. Third, the new classrooms will help students and teachers work in a convenient environment because they are bigger and better. Finally, on behalf of all the amazing students, teachers, staff, I thank all who contribute of the completion of this amazing project. Thank you all for your presence and have a great day, everyone.
Okay, he was going to introduce himself in Arabic, but got nervous. I want to thank his family for being here. I want to thank Linda Chinya, because 19 years ago, she appointed me to John Rohr, which I said, I think I need a smaller school. I've got a K-8 here at Glenmount, and it was 250 students, and now it's over 850 students, and it's a pre-K-8. But I still want to thank you. 19 years ago, we were under-enrolled, and when we left our building a year and a half ago, we were at 195% capacity. We had students everywhere. We tested in closets, we shared rooms, and now we're in this amazing building that as I went in there the first time, fully completed, I thought back to my first day as a teacher on February 4th, 1974. And everything I saw in that building, we would have thought as science fiction. And people laugh, but really, when I went as a teacher, we had a risograph and a duplicating machine. We communicated by talking to each other, really. And we used a typewriter. If we were lucky enough, we had an overhead projector, which I had to explain to some of my 2 teachers what that was when we found one in a closet when we moved. And now I go into a building and we have drones and every student will have access to a computer. They're going to code, whatever that is, but I'm sure he's going to show me. The first time I had a computer, I had a parent who had to show me how to turn it on. I've come a long way. I have my AP there, Ms. Zavala, who will help me when I can't figure things out. But it is so different when I first started teaching. And I have to agree with Dr. Santalese that every child in Baltimore City and every child in the state of Maryland deserves what we're getting today. This technology is extremely important in my school because over 70% of my students English is not their first language. So this makes their curriculum accessible to them. So I want to thank everyone who had something to do with giving us this amazing building. And I do have a retirement day, lots of yours. But at least I got to see this. And 19 years later, I'm amazed. And I welcome you all to come and visit us. Thank you. And now I'm not going to forget Sam. I'd like to introduce you to the amazing, proud principal here, Monique Reese.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. First, I want to introduce my scholars. Charles Scott. We have Charles, come on, start us off.
Hello, I am very excited to welcome you to our ribbon cutting ceremony. My name is Charles Scott, and I am a 7th grade student at Bay-Brook Elementary Middle School. I love the teachers, staff, students, and field trips offered by this school. As a first-year student, I will make sure we are working with the staff and teachers to make this a safe and clean environment. I am honored and thankful to everyone who helped create this beautiful new building for all of us. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the new Bay-Brook.
Now we'll bring up Taurus and Brandon. Tarsus and Brandon.
Good morning. My name is Tarsus. I am an 8th grader. Today is a phenomenal day for Bay-Brook Elementary Middle School because today we are opening our 21st century building. We finally have an appropriate place to study and a room to play sports and or do other creative activities. We are very proud that today Baltimore City has invested in our futures. Thank you.
Hola, buenos días a todos. Estoy en el 8º grado y mi nombre es Brandon. Hoy es un día fenomenal para Bay-Brook Elementary Middle School porque hoy estamos inaugurando nuestro nuevo edificio del siglo XXI. Finalmente tenemos un lugar apropiado en el que podemos hacer creatividades y estudiar, deportes o hacer otras cosas. Estamos muy orgullosos que hoy la ciudad de Baltimore haya invertido en nuestros futuros. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Those are 3 scholars from 7th and 8th grade, so thank you for welcoming our parents and our community members and our stakeholders. 3.5 years ago, I began serving as the principal at Bay-Brook Elementary Middle School. During my transition to the school, one of the first things I remember them telling me that the school was broken up into 3 different buildings. So this was actually 3 different buildings before what we see today. I was also informed that the school was selected to get a brand new 21st century building. My team and I went to countless 21st century meetings to prepare for this transition, worked through the swing space turmoil, and tried to balance the busy day with the 21st century requirements. When I walked into this new building, I can say the work I complained about and kept me up at night was all worth it. This 21st century building is beyond my expectations. To break ground in the summer of 2018 and now actually move into the state-of-the-art school is phenomenal. The last few years, Dr. Santalese has spoken about equity in education. Equity is ensuring everyone gets what they need to be successful. With the district's new literacy curriculum, focus on student wholeness, and now new 21st century school classrooms that provide the best instructional environment for every learner, I'm beyond confident that the scholars at Bay-Brook will get what they need to be successful. They have access to laptop cards, iPads, and the global community at their fingertips. I'm even more overjoyed that we have a new community space called the Bay Center. Yes, we repeated after the Ben Center. I don't know if Chris is here. And just hired a new community coordinator that will utilize the space for after-school programming, student wholeness supports, and building parent partnerships. I'm both honored and humbled to be the principal of Bay-Brook Elementary School, and I can't wait to see the smiling faces on Monday morning as students enter their classrooms. I want to give a special shout out to Michael Berry, the project manager. He put up with me when I was texting him about different things for the school and the building. Best project manager, the 21st Century team, and the Bay-Brook staff for their dedication, their support. Stand up, Bay-Brook staff. Stand on up. Who worked very hard during these years to assist with this transition into our new school. Thank you. I would now like to introduce Bill Ferguson, the incoming Senate President.
Good morning, Bay-Brook. Good morning. Good morning, Calvin M. Rodwell. Good morning. Good morning, John Rura. Good morning, Baltimore. Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a day that Baltimore has made. This is what progress looks like. I want to make sure that I take a quick moment to introduce my partners in the work. While I will be going into this next session to take on the role of Senate President for the Maryland Senate, first and foremost, in my heart and in my mind is the 46th Legislative District, which I've had the honor of representing for the last 9 years, and several of my colleagues who represent this district with me. Delegate Brooke Learman, Delegate Luke Clippinger, and Delegate Robin Lewis are here today with us. And I want to make sure that I introduce them because teamwork is what makes all of this possible. There's so many things I want to say about this moment, and I could not be more excited for the students and the families. I came to the city and taught at Southwestern High School, which doesn't exist any longer. But I taught in a corner room that was one of these buildings that has since been shut down, thank God, that didn't have heat, didn't have air conditioning. And I had a little window, and it was about that big. And it was on one side of the wall, even though it was a corner building, we only had windows on one little side, and they were these two little square boat windows. And you would go to the back of the room and look out the window, and we overlooked a graveyard. And this is on the top of Font Hill Road, if folks know where Southwestern was. And I'll never forget that moment when I looked out and I said, is this really what we're saying to our kids? Is this building, is this what this means? Is this what we believe in them? That's what ultimately led me to run for office. In 2012, we came to Annapolis, we said, we can do better. What we have in the city of Baltimore are buildings that are not even close to satisfactory, and they do not meet the potential that the young people of Baltimore represent. We were told no. We were told, not this time. I'm sorry, this won't happen. So guess what? We came back. We organized, we had a better plan, and in 2013 we passed a bill that created an opportunity for $1 billion to be invested in Baltimore. Fast forward 4 more years, 2 summers ago, we opened 2 brand new 21st century schools in Cherry Hill. Fast forward to today, we're opening 3 brand new schools in the middle of the year. This is 14 brand new schools that have already been constructed with 14 to go. I want to remind folks, we were told no. We were told over and over that this was not what Baltimore deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, today what we are celebrating is saying this is not what we deserve, it's what we should expect for every single neighborhood in the city of Baltimore and across the state of Maryland. And the good news is, we can do it. I say all of this because this upcoming session, we have some big work ahead. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I apologize. We will be taking on a generational moment with school construction and with what happens inside of these buildings. We will be moving forward a plan that has the potential over the next 10 years to increase billions of dollars in school operations And we'll put $400 million more into school construction in the city of Baltimore so that we can construct at least another 6 brand new schools within the next 4 years. There's a chance we're told no. But we will get to yes if you continue to fight for what every single student in the city of Baltimore and the state of Maryland deserves, because their potential is limitless if we actually believe it. Let me just say thank you all for your ongoing commitment. This is an amazing, amazing moment, and we should celebrate it, but we should remember that this is just what kids deserve. It's a special moment to celebrate it, but it's what kids deserve in the richest state of the richest country of the world. This is what progress looks like. Thank you all for your willingness to be here today. I have the distinguished and amazing honor to introduce an incredible, incredible partner in the work, Mayor Jack Young.
Good morning. And Happy New Year, and thank you for joining us today for this great celebration of 3 new 21st century schools. I'd like to acknowledge all the elected officials that have joined us today, all of the partners, Santa Lisa's, the CEO of the schools, Ms. Chenya, the president of the school board, and all the school board members. This is a great day today to be here to celebrate the opening of our 21st century schools. Today is no exception. Every new school opening is special and represents our commitment to children and the future of Baltimore. This school year alone, we have opened 4 schools, bringing the total number of 21st century schools in Baltimore to 13, with more to come. The 21st Century School Partnership between City Schools, the Maryland Stadium Authority, and the City of Baltimore stands as an excellent example of how we can and should work together for our children. Every child deserves to come to school in a building that has a working heating and cooling system, that has the infrastructure and spacing to support 21st century teaching and learning, and is filled with high expectations and opportunities for greatness. We're seeing some very promising student achievement outcomes in our new schools. I want to personally thank the teachers, the staff, principals that are ensuring that students get much more than just a new building. You are ensuring that students get a quality education, and that is what this is all about. I'm looking forward to the upcoming legislative session where our delegation will have the opportunity to push for new school funding to support even more 21st century schools in Baltimore. I have already pledged $34 million from the city to support the Build to Learn Act, which is new state legislation that will bring in $400 million for new school construction in Baltimore. $400 million from the state could not only help the school system to build new schools, but it could also help us to fully fund the city schools' air conditioning and heating plan. Together, we have set the gold standards for driving school improvement through a robust school construction strategy. I want to thank all of our partners in Annapolis for your diligence and commitment to getting us the resources to support the 21st Century School Building Program. We could not have done it without you. To the community members that represent all 3 of the new schools, you asked for change and improvements. We listened, and we are here today to deliver on that commitment. Schools are the heart and souls of our community, and I am proud that today we are bringing new life to so many Baltimore communities. Principal Rather, Principal Reese, and Principal Donnelly, I would like to present each of you with a mayoral salute to honor the completion of your new schools and the scores of young people that will come through your doors eager to learn and grow. So we're going to call up Principal Rather first.
Thank you very much.
Principal Reese.
Thank you.
Principal Donnelly. Thank you again, and now I have the great pleasure of introducing Senator Jill Carr.
Good morning. As I know it's near the end and people are anxious to get to the school, I promise not to be long. I have the wonderful honor of being able to introduce not only my delegate, 41st District Delegate Tony Bridges, who is here, Calvin Rodwell is in our district, but our wonderful councilman, Chris Burnett, Calvin Rodwell also, not in 41, but in this district, Councilman Zeke Cohen. And if there's any other elected official that I can't see from here, please stand up to be recognized.
Vice President Middleton.
Vice President Sharon Middleton, I didn't see you pass the balloons. Sorry. So, Calvin Madison Rodwell was the original Officer Friendly in Baltimore City. He dedicated his life to serving the citizens and the children. He was a member of Big Brothers and a Scoutmaster. And 9 years after he was violently murdered, Mayor Schaefer named the first original Calvin Rodwell. It's wonderful to see the Rodwell family here. I don't know you all, but I feel like I grew up with Dino Rodwell my entire life. Nice to see you. What is so significant, everybody here, all stakeholders here, is that as we move forward in this incredible progress, that we do not forget our history and what citizens like Calvin Madison Rodwell meant to Baltimore. So I'm very, very excited about this. You know, before the new building, Calvin Rodwell was a leading high-performing school, community school in Baltimore City. And it's always had amazing support. As you all saw, the most exuberant principal who was a winner just a couple of years ago of the Hart Award and has done a wonderful job working with the community. We really have a village around Calvin Rodwell. We have incredible communities. We have West Arlington, as I see the President Sean Stinnett here, of that community here. We have West Arlington, Hillsdale, Liberty Heights, Forest Park, Howard Park. All of these communities, the Howell Funeral Home, have embraced this school and these students. And so the students have always been world class. The community has always been world class, but now we finally have a building to match that. And so I'm so thankful for everybody that contributed, and I know you heard it before, but I'm just going to say it again. It was legislation that made this possible. We have the stakeholders, the advocates, we have the stadium authority to implement and oversee, we have the wonderful members of the Board of School Commissioners and the CEO of the schools, but it's legislation that made it possible. And I say that because I always got to put in my bit that politics matters, okay? Who you have in office matters, and with the new president, the implementation of Kerwin and these new buildings, the future is the brightest it's ever been. Thank you. And now I have the honor of introducing City Council President Brandon Scott.
Thank you, Senator. Good morning. As the Senator just said, being at the end, I'm anxious to go see the school too, so I will not be before you long. This is a great day. I am honored to be here to celebrate these three schools, and it was said earlier that when you walked in this building, you could feel that this was the right thing, right? But walking into this building to me wasn't just about feeling the progress, as the incoming Senate President said. And I don't get to say Mr. President very often and not think about the other presidents, so thank you, Mr. President. It's not just about the progress, but it's also about what's right. And it's also about the promise. I often say that for my entire life, we've been investing as our government in the failures of our young people instead of investing in the promise of what they can be. And what you see here with 21st century schools, what we're going to be fighting for in Annapolis and Kerwin is about the promise of a better future. And we know what that future is on this stage. You heard from them today. That's what this is about. That's what these school buildings are about. As a graduate of Baltimore City Public Schools and one who went to those schools with no heat and no air, one who had to not go to school some days. I went to an elementary school that didn't have a gym, so we had to walk across the street to go to the rec center to even have physical education. You understand what it means, and that's why I dedicated my life to making sure that young people that are coming from behind me had the better opportunity. Because this isn't just what this is supposed to happen years ago. Our kids deserve this like every other young person in this country. And make no mistake about it, this is hard work. And the Senate President said that we're going to need everybody, but I'm going to say it in a different way. If he were here today, Congressman Cummings would say, we're going to need Lottie, Dottie, and everybody in Annapolis. We're going to need us on the bus. We're going to need you emailing, calling, text messaging, tweeting, Facebooking, because this is not an option. We have to invest in our future. We have to invest in our young people. And starting with our school communities is the right way to go. So thank you all for being here. This is a great day to celebrate these wonderful 3 school communities. This is now the 5th one this year. Dr. Sanfelice, is 5 schools just this year that we've done, but we have a lot of work to do. The city will do its part. We all have to do our part to make sure that Baltimore schools become the greatest schools in the country. And it's now my distinct honor, Madam Principal, I got you beat by a few years, a young woman who 31 years ago was my principal and now leads the school board of Baltimore City Public Schools, my principal, Linda Cheney.
Every time we do these openings, I'm feeling older and older. And I have to add that I was President Scott's principal when he was in pre-kindergarten. I want to thank everyone who is here today, who has participated in this event. I especially do want to take some time as the board chair to thank our staff in operations and the 21st Century Building staff for the fabulous work that they've done, along with our partners from the state and from MSA. But just the hours that our staff has put together for this to occur, I want to thank them. I also want to thank our principals, because I know that it has been quite a chore for you in terms of swing space and preparations to move out, to move in, and to maintain the quality of instruction that has happened in these 3 schools. So thank you for what you've done. Folks have said, I've been hearing today that, that our children are our future, and I have to say to you that as I've been sitting here today, I'm going to switch that a little bit. Our children are our present, and we've heard from them today. And we've heard eloquently from the students, both those students who are currently in our schools, as well as, for me, students who have graduated and are back as leaders. And I think about that and I have to just remind myself and remind you of one of our school board members who was very much a part of what we are celebrating today, who passed over this holiday, and that was Mr. Ralph Francois, who would be so happy to be here today to see what is taking place. So I need to mention that to you also. But although our students are our present, it is our responsibility to be certain that the future for our students is brighter and filled with more opportunities than we can imagine. And so for that, we say thank you, and we ask that you continue to support your board, our legislators, our other leaders in being certain that happens. So, since I end the program, I have the great pleasure to welcome you to the new Bay-Brook Elementary Middle School, and I'm going to invite you for some tours. I will tell you, if you would like to do tours for this building, you are asked to remain seated, and staff will come to assist you and break us into groups for those tours. Also want to remind you that between 1 and 3, there will also be tours at Calvin Rodwell, as well as at John Rohr, so folks are invited to attend those also. I am pleased to say then, on behalf of the board, thank you again to everyone for being here, and this is indeed a happy new year. Thank you.